Okay, I'm Ollie Taylor, and I did a project on shopping. My main choice for choosing shopping was I wanted something that everyone could relate to, which kind of I think was a lot of what everyone was going along with. I found it very hard to come up with my idea at first, and so I had a wander around town and saw quite a lot of women and men as well going crazy in one of the shops for some clothing they wanted in the bargain rack. And I thought, this is it, this is what I want to do. It's something that everyone can relate to, because everyone shops, we have to shop, so I thought it would be a perfect thing to choose. So the problems I faced first was obviously I'd like to do something I haven't done before, working to sort of a larger scale. So the page size that I chose was obviously this double spread here. It's quite large, and having not done it like previously, it meant I had to sort of adapt some of the ways that I'd done it before. So trying to lay out type, for instance, and getting sort of the photos on the page and looking right on the page was quite a challenge. But coming in over the sessions that we had each week helped me out to sort of to fit it all in, as it were. Other problems was trying to fit everything I wanted to. This book had to represent everything I wanted to show. So kind of I wanted to get in type, I wanted to get in photos, I wanted to get in collage, all the kind of things that because this work has got to show off what I can do. So I'm trying to get that into the book, but also make sure that it looked like my work as well was quite a challenge. Because I want people to flick through it and think, yeah, this all comes from the same book, which I think is quite important because everyone has their own sort of style to the book. Obviously everyone does secondary research in their work, but I think it's obvious that primary research is the most important. So with the shopping, I looked at 3 different things that I could look at. The first one was kind of looking at someone in Brighton who works on a market stall. Just someone who's, I think, kind of like a lot of us, they're trying to earn a living, money to live, which is, and then people shop, so they're giving him the money to live. It's a continuous circle. The other one I looked at, or the second one, was an interview with a manager from M&S in Worthing, next to Brighton. And this provided a great contrast between someone who's earning, obviously, potentially quite a lot of money to be a manager of quite a large high street store, one of the biggest high street stores, as you all know, compared to someone who in Brighton is maybe earning a pittance compared to this. Getting someone every day compared to someone, maybe living the high life. And also, the third one I thought would be quite nice was people of our sort of age, was to get their point of view on things. Because it's always the youngsters that are meant to be doing the shopping and that, and people say it's the women. So I thought it was quite nice to get a selection of youngsters and oldies as well, to find out sort of the contrast between the 3. And I think it was quite important to get that in, because it kind of shows a link between all the other work as well, and that everyone knows that where you work and stuff is quite important, what people think. So that's why I thought primary, and this choice for primary I think would work. My graphic language for my work is I thought about it as it's like a link, something that is obviously really important. And I never came into my project knowing what the graphic language was going to be, because it's all a learning process, and that was part of all the months leading up to the final bit. So I did try out different things in tutorials and stuff, and put stuff forward, and there were things that worked and things that didn't. Colours, the way I used type, the way I used images, photography in particular. And with shopping, it's there's obviously a lot of things on labels, lots of things on signs and stuff. But if I was to do that, that would just be quite boring really, and it's been done before. So I wanted to try something slightly different, but then give it my sort of slant on it as well. So tying in this sort of sign thing as well, I used backgrounds on type as well, just so that the type would just break it up, so that people looking through it would be easier to read. And one of the main things that came out of my tutorials was the choice of a colour and then black and white, especially in photography. Like these pages, for example, they're black and white, and then I'd pick out a particular colour because it would kind of complement the work a lot better. And on the sort of paper stock which I used, which soaked up the ink a lot more, it seemed to work and convey this message. I used it throughout, picking just one colour, maybe a blue or red, that kind of thing, and trying to keep quite a lot of photography down to black and white, because I think if you do photography well, if it's in black and white, it's fine. So I did try this in this one in particular. The idea behind this was that I'd done a lot of type in the book, and obviously what I got in what I wanted, but I quite liked a photo to convey the message through just the photo. So it's up to them to make up their own mind. And the idea behind this kind of picture was in London, and how all the signs are all the bright colours. They're all picked out in colour, but everything else is black and white, so it's the shopper's vision. It's this page is for the shops, as it were. They're trying to get us to buy their products, so all the colours are picked out here. And as far as photos go as well, I have done a large scale one as well, just to try out different sizes. Again, keeping the colours down to a minimum. Just the photography is kind of giving the message out rather than too much type, which sometimes can sort of interfere with it. It's good, but it's nice to have a balance, and so I tried that with the photography and the colours and just the way I laid out the type, really. After this, after 3 years, but this year in particular, I think I'll take away a lot. I mean, this has formed potentially what I would do for the rest of my life, and it's set me up for when I go into jobs. I know what to expect. I know what it's like to work at large scales, especially like this, as it's nothing I've done before, and university gives you that chance as well to try something different, and I think that's important. And also, sorry, that's my phone. After this university experience, after 3 years, and this year in particular, I think it's made me realise now what I've got to do, really, and it's kind of set me up. Not scared me, but it's made me realise now that there's work to be done, and that I have improved over the last 3 years, because that's important, and I've tried out lots of things over the 3 years that I wouldn't necessarily have done, because that's what it's all about, doing new things and trying new sorts of things as well. And I'm proud of a project now where I've managed to get in everything from photography, type, collage, just things that I never would have thought out at the beginning, and now 3 years down the line, I know how to lay out pages, I know how to work at larger sizes, and hopefully I can take this in and get a job, and put myself out there and have, compete with the best, as it were. So with all this, I think this project has been my best, and I'm proud of it, and yeah, this is my project, Shop.